Hello, Reader Babes. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for finding me. I'm so happy to have you here. And Happy New Year. I hope that you had a good entrance into the new year, and I hope that this new year brings you everything that you want. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about all the 8 books that I read in the month of December. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do like all the books I read in 2023 or just continue and just do December. If you want to see all the books I read in 2023, please let me know. But as of right now, let's just stick to what we know. So these are all the books I read in December. I read 8 books this month, and that's about it. I'm going to talk you through them. Guys, I have done it. I have finished the Harry Potter books. I have done them all 7 books. I have read them. Moment of applause for me. Thank you so much. I'm done. I'm so happy to be done. I can't lie. Book 5 is the fattest, longest book I've ever read in my life, and this is a massive accomplishment for me. I don't want to assume that people haven't read Harry Potter, because I'd never read Harry Potter up until this point before, but I loved it. I think the ending was good. I enjoyed myself. I think book 5 was longer than it needed to be. When I went on Goodreads to put my rating for book 5, so many people said, oh my gosh, it could have been longer. I'm not one of those people. I thought this book was way too long. I was planning to read a lot more books in December than I did, and I think that this and another book that I'll talk about soon is the reason. This book was so long, it could have been shorter. However, 4-star, 5-star, 4.5. Yeah, I loved it. I had the best time. I have now also watched all the movies, so I'm clued up. And I can say that my favourite book and movie is book 3, Prisoner of Azkaban. It's before we get super, super dark. It's when they're still innocent and cute, and yeah, that's my favourite still. I love them all, but yeah, I'm happy to be done with this universe. And yeah, and now that I've finished this, I've been seeing a lot of people read Manacled, which is a book not written by J.K. Rowling. I don't know who it's written by, I'm not going to lie. But it's basically like a different ending. It's written as if the ending didn't happen and it went a different way. And we're seeing that perspective. Because it's not written by J.K. Rowling, it's actually free to download. So I've got it on my Kindle. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully that will be in the next wrap up. But I finished Harry Potter. I'm over the moon. Let us move on. I'm really killing it because I'm all about finishing current series. I finished the Magnolia Parks universe. There are more books coming. I think the next book is coming next month. But for now, I'm up to date. So well done to me. I finished Daisy Hates the Great Undoing, which is the 4th book. And there's going to be 2 more Daisy books and 1 more Magnolia book. So the series is going to be 7 books altogether. But right now, there's 4. So right now, I'm up to date. This book changed my life forever. I'm not being dramatic. I'm not. This put me in the fattest reading slump. I think I started like 4 other books after this, and I was like, yeah, no. These books, these Magnolia Parks books, follow toxic people. They're rich people in London, so it's very much Gossip Girl vibes, but London, high society. So books 2 and 4 are about Daisy Hates, and her brother is this gang lord, like the number 1 gang lord in London, and she's his little sister. And it's about her finding love, but it's also about her brother's. Her brother has his own POV in this book as well. So does her love interest, Christian. So we're following 3 POVs. It doesn't get confusing. It's done really, really well. And one thing I love about this book, is it's the same timeline as the Magnolia Parks books, so the book before. And that at first, I'm shaking my camera, I'm sorry. You think that was boring. Okay, we're just reliving the same events, but no, it's not, because we're seeing it from these characters' different perspectives, and they are thinking completely different ways to how the other ones, like the way situations went down in the last book. No, that's not how they went down in this book. It's so good. Like the quotes in this book, amazing. The love I felt. I think this is my favourite book of 2023. I did include it in my 2023 Bookish Awards if you want to check that out. It's the video before this one. Yeah, Jessa just did so well with this book. We follow quite a few characters. It's very, very action-packed, so it's actually got plot. I feel like the first 2 books in the series didn't really have plots. We were just learning about these characters doing dumb things. Whereas now we love them. They have plot, they have things going on, and it's just amazing. It's amazing. It's so good. I'm planning to do like a whole Magnolia Parks video if anybody is interested, because I think it's just a bit weird me saying all the things about this book when it's like, You might not have read it. This is book 4. I shouldn't start from here. Yeah, this book was it. This book was so good. This was 6 stars. This is 6, and I only have 3 6-stars in my life. Like, I've only read 3 6-star books in my opinion. So, you know that this is, for me, this is everything. Oh, I love it. I'm so sad to be putting it down, but I must. So the next book I read was Ruthless Vows, which is the next book in the Divine Rivals duology. It's done now. This is it. This book follows Kit and Iris, and there's a war going on, and they communicate via magical typewriters. And the first book ended with a bit of drama, and in the second book, we follow their story, and we are also introduced to a new love interest for another person in the book. It's really good. It's really cute. I liked it a lot. I gave it 4 stars. Great ending to this duology. I had a really good time. Definitely recommend. So finally, I read One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. This has been on my TBR for ages. I really wanted to get it done in 2023 because I've seen so many people say that this is their favourite fantasy. So I was really excited to jump into it, and I really, really liked it. In this book, we live in this world where there's a mist going on, and there are also these cards, and you have to collect these cards, give them back to nature to get rid of the mist, pretty much. But if you are infected, which some people are, you have a power, and having a power is not good. The king wants to execute you. So the main character, of course, has the infection, and basically with her infection, she's living with Venom. Okay, he's not really called Venom, but if you've watched the movie Venom, you'll get what I mean. She's got something in her mind, and he talks to her. From the book, you can tell he's got this really dark voice. I just envisioned Venom. Not only does he talk to her, he can give her strength if she calls for it. So Venom, right? Hopefully that paints a picture for you. So yeah, I thought the magic system was very, very unique, and I think I was expecting to go into it and it'd be really, really fast paced, and like, I don't know, people have compared it to Fourth Wing, so I kind of like expected that, but it's not like that. It's very, not slow, but it's very gothic, dark vibe, like more than, you know. I did have a slight problem with the book though, and if you have every intention of reading this book, you might want to skip this. I wouldn't say that this is a spoiler. However, I don't know, sometimes it's good to go into books blind and make your own opinions. So I'll put myself in a box and I'll tell you my problem with this book if you've already read it or have no intention. But I just didn't find the relationship, the love, to be believable in this book personally. I don't feel like the main characters had enough time together or instances that made me think, oh my gosh, he really likes her or she really likes him. I instead felt like, you're going through this, I'm going through this, oh, I love you, you know. And I feel like the relationship or their love is a big basis for the story, because like in books, love is a big driver for people to do things. So because they were doing things and I didn't believe in the love, I was a bit like, So that's the only issue I had with the book. So because of that, I'm struggling with what to rate it. In terms of like the fantasy, and this is a fantasy at the end of the day, I'm not sure if it's described as a romance fantasy or just fantasy. On the bottom right here it says fantasy, so I'm going to go with fantasy. Because it's a fantasy, it did its job. It was amazing. Like 5 stars. The magic system was unique, the writing was amazing, the world was amazing. I really enjoyed myself. But because the romance was kind of a building block for the book, and the romance was a bit of a letdown. Not even a letdown, it just wasn't believable. I was just a bit like, I don't think you like each other. That kind of has swayed my opinion on it, but then I'm like, should I be judging this as a fantasy, or should I be judging it with a fantasy with romance? Because if it's with the romance in my opinion lacked. I think I'm sitting around a 4 star, just because my 5 stars, I'm like, as soon as I close that book, I'm like 5 stars. Or sometimes I'll close the book 4 stars and then I'll just be thinking about it all the time and it's 5 stars. And I do think about this a lot, but I don't think it's changed my rating. Think about it. So I think I'm going to stick with the 4 stars, but I did love this book, but for the reasons that I mentioned, I can't give it 5 stars, but I definitely recommend. I'm already on the second book, which is Two Twisted Crowns, and I'm like a quarter of the way through the book, and I'm really enjoying myself as well. I'm enjoying myself. Both books are good vibe. I finished One Dark Window at 1 a.m. on the 30th of December. 30th of December, like 1 a.m. And that was the 48th book that I read in 2023. And my reading goal was 50. So I was like, girl, come on, like, you can do this. I had a flight the next day coming back home. I was like, you can finish Harry Potter on the plane. You have a 7-hour flight. There's no reason. I've already spoken about it, but that's where I read the 7th Harry Potter book and I finished it. So I finished it by the time I got back. And then on the 31st of December, I was like, you're reading 2 books today. Like, you have no choice. You need to read 2 books before crossover service. So the next book I read was Beach Read by Emily Henry. I did actually start it on the beach when I was on holiday. If I have a clip, I'll post it because I'm not sure if I'm going to post that vlog. But I did start it on the beach. This book is so good. I've seen so much hype around this book and I'm like, yeah, absolutely. One thing about Emily Henry's books is they are not all as it seems. I read Happy Place earlier. That's not a happy book. I read Beach Read. This is not a fun beachy vibes book. So don't be fooled by her title. She is misleading. She's got a book coming out in April called Funny Story. I know it's not going to be fun. I know it's not going to be funny. So I've learnt my lesson. This book follows January and Gus, and they were both college rivals. So they're both authors. And in school, they were kind of always pitted against each other or pit themselves against each other. And they haven't seen each other since they both moved on. And one summer, is it summer? January moves into her dad, who's now passed away, old house because she's got no money. She's a broke author. And guess who her neighbour is? It's Gus. They both get to talking and he's in a reading slump. She's in a reading slump. She's like, oh, you write about this. And he's like, oh, you write about that. Let's swap genres and see who gets published first. So there's competition. And if you know me, I'm very competitive. So I love that. And they basically write each other's genres. And once or twice a week, they meet up to do research. So she writes romance books. So she'll take him on like a date. They're not dating, but a date. And he'll take her around to like interview people for his types of book style, his thought process and research process for books. And of course, they connect. And yeah, we just follow them and they're meeting up all the time. They go from like communicating via like post-it notes in the windows because they're neighbours to like going into each other's houses, and we just follow them over time, and it's just so wholesome. It's so good. I love this book so much. They rarely go to the beach. I don't know why it's called Beach Read. I don't know, this is just 2 people who aren't perfect people who just fit so well. I heard people say that Emily Henry writes good banter, and they are correct. She does. Yeah, I just loved it. This was a really easy 5 stars. Like, I knew it was going to be 5 stars before the book ended. It was so enjoyable. It was so good. I don't know. I really connected to these characters. I really loved these characters. I highly recommend this book. This was number 49, okay? The 49th book. So I was like, all right, I need to read one more book. And it was coming up to like a couple hours before I needed to go out. So I watched Thank God for Larry. I watched Larry's YouTube video and she was talking about all the books she read in 2023. And she said that she read this or listened to this Kennedy Ryan audiobook. And it was a novella. So I was like, perfect, thank you, you've just saved my life. I listen to audiobooks on like 1.8, 1.9 speed anyway. We can get this wrapped up quickly. So I read this audiobook. It's called Coming Home by Kennedy Ryan. And I literally just listened to it to hit 50 books. Will I do it again? I'm not sure. I don't really recommend it. I'm not going to lie to you. It's very, very short. And because it's short, you don't really get to know the characters at all. So like I'm not really rooting for you. I don't know you. And then as well as it being short, it was super cringy. Like it was if you listen to it, then you'll know what I mean. Like it's really, really cringy. And then there's like a spicy scene and I'm like, whoa. I don't know. I felt like I was listening to it. And then the spicy scene came out and everyone was like, whoa, when did we get here? Like, I need you to, if we're going to do spice, like you need to ease me in. So I don't recommend it. I think I gave it, I'm sitting between like 1.5, maybe 2 stars. I don't know. It wasn't for me, but I'm grateful to the book because it got me to my 50 books goal of 2023. So yes. So those were all the 8 books that I read in December, the last month of 2023. How crazy. I'm very grateful for 2023 because it's the year that I took the plunge and started my YouTube channel. So thank you so much to all of you who joined me in 2023 and to all of those who are joining in 2024. 2. Last time I checked, my channel had 800 subscribers, which I think is just a bit crazy. That's like so many people. So I'm very, very grateful. Thank you all so much for being here. And I hope that you continue to stay. Please let me know like what types of videos you want to see. I think I'm going to do videos surrounding like the series that I've finished. So talking about the Harry Potter books, talking about the Magnolia Parks books and those types of review videos, because I don't know, all my videos are like sit down wrap up videos, which there's nothing wrong with it. I think those are always going to be my favourite videos to film. But yeah, let me know what I can do to spice things up and keep you entertained, hopefully. So yes, I hope you have a great year and I will see you soon, hopefully. Okay, bye.